fast.
So
Look at
this
the
is
rain.
part 2. You know what? Things
Part
pop up.
2 of what? The Hawaiian Tale story.
Hawaiian Tale story or media.
Yeah.
You know, taking us on journeys.
Taking on journey.
That's what it's gonna be.
Taking
Sorry,
a fucking
part
journey.
Part 2, because things pop up on my screen, and if I don't push the X just perfectly, it goes to that thing that it popped up and it cuts
And it
off
cuts
my
the
video.
feed.
I'm so irritated. I need just a YouTube phone. That's what I need.
There you go.
But okay, so anyway, the bright and then cut off the bright side. So, how to keep them in suspense. Now you gotta watch the next video. So the bright side of this story is one day this Hawaiian Tail truck pulls up to our food place, and I looked at him and I said, I said, you know what? It's a customer. I'm gonna be nice, right?
And I said, oh, imagine if that was the guy that would do all things.
And I was like, yeah. I said the guy told me when he was on the phone that he doesn't really do that area. You know, he's more on our side. So anyway, the guy orders, you know, and he's talking to me, and we have to laugh about it. And he laughs and he tells the guy, he goes, you know, I gotta tell you, when you pull up, oh, my wife, her blood started boiling. He goes, cause you know you guys company. And he starts telling him the story, and the guy starts laughing. He goes, wait, the one behind Tamura's, right? In Waianae. And I said, yeah. He goes, I was your technician. I was the one on the phone with you. I said, what? I said, okay, I'm the one that told you come by, you get on free plate lunch. He goes, oh, that's you guys. And so we gave him his food free, plus we gave him extra things.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, that whole experience, you were the only one that was cool. And the local girl on the phone, but she wasn't helpful, you know. And so he tells me, yeah, you know what, I'm so sorry. He goes, you know, our tech's out here, our tech department, we got all our shit together, we know what we're doing, but it's the dispatch, right, that gives us all wrong information. He goes, so we get yelled at all the time by the customers. I said, well, I didn't yell at you. He goes, no, you were cool. He goes, but we get yelled at all the time, and it's because of our dispatch.
So have compassion on the brothers and sisters of Hawaiian Tail that come out to the locals that come to service your phone, because it's not their fault.
But Hawaiian Tail, y'all need to keep your shit in Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go.
Why you would have people, you know, and a lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
They have people all over the world answering.
Call centers.
Yeah, but you know what's stupid is, like, you can't
foreign
understand
call
them.
centers.
You call someplace, right? And they say, for one, for English, press 1. So you push 1. And then the person that comes and answers the phone speaks a different language. And you can't understand a damn word they're saying. And I'm like, wait, I pushed 1. I pushed 1. Can I have English, please? And they
Numero de 52.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I know what dos is, but I'm not pushing that. You know? But it just is ridiculous. And then they have to repeat it over and over. And sometimes, like, you've been on the phone like that. And he's had them repeat it like 5 times. Yeah. And he looks at me, and it's on speaker, and he goes,
the fuck is he saying?
And I go, I don't know. Okay, let me have her repeat it again. And we're both like this by the phone. And I look at him and I go, I have no idea. So I tell them, you know what? We can't understand
English.
you. Like, yeah, I'm like, we're not trying to be disrespectful, but can you get somebody else on the line? Because we can't understand what you're saying. And then I don't know what they're telling us after that. That they're gonna go get somebody, like, please wait and hold on or something. I'm just like, oh my god. So sometimes we hang up and we call again, hoping that we would get somebody else. Yeah. And sometimes that doesn't help because we get somebody else from a different language that we can't understand. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm telling you, it just drives
the
me
journeys.
nuts.
The journeys you gotta go on in dealing with.
It's gonna be journey part 2.
Yeah.
So what other journeys do you
dealing with situations where you gotta talk to people from different languages and cultures.
Yeah. And it's not that we don't love the cultures. It's just you know, it's not that there's a time and a place. when you're trying to get shit done, that's not the time and place. But what other journeys is there?
But there's a journey right now. We're going to Waimanalo,
That's a
beautiful
different
God's
kind of
country.
journey, though. That's a fun journey.
Yeah.
This is a fun journey. Well, we can transition to fun journeys.
Well, I mean, okay, so the journey with this one is dealing with the court system.
Right.
They take you on a journey too.
Right. Oh, and I'm giving the client my computer,
Yeah.
the older laptop, but it still works. It wasn't that old.
And
Because
again,
she
thanks to Hawaii Pacific Foundation, we're now able to pass on a laptop to a client who is virtually computer illiterate,
Yeah.
and she really needs the laptop.
Yeah. She's. I mean, she's.
So
I don't
we're
wanna-
able to pass on this laptop to her,
I don't consider
courtesy
her
of
elderly.
Hawaii Pacific Foundation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't consider her
Yeah.
elderly because she's really sharp. She's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but when
She
it
could
comes
put
to
on status,
computer,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people don't know. It's like my mom wouldn't. She can't do a computer. You know, well, my mom takes me on a journey. My mom takes me on a journey. This is her. She'll be like this. She's in a different city, in Hawaii, but in a different city,
She's-
on
that's-
her phone, right?
Yeah.
And she calls me from her house and she goes,
Yeah, yeah.
Aiko. I'm like,
This is funny.
I'm like, yes. And she goes, how I do this? Okay, I'm on the phone, not video. I'm on the phone, and I'm like, okay, mom. First of all, what is this? She goes, this.
This
You-
one,
you
right?
know,
Yeah, this one.
This one. I push. Do I push this? I'm like, push what, mom? What are you trying to do? She goes, oh, I'm trying to send a picture. I'm trying to send this picture. And I'm like, okay, and where is it? She goes, oh,
Where
I
is
go
it?
in my photo, right? So talking her through it, then she keeps telling me things like, do I push the top? This top one right here? I'm like, mom, I'm not
Thanks,
there
Joe.
with you. I can't see your phone. And she goes, oh, but try look your phone. I'm like, okay.
Finish
first
my
of all,
coffee.
we
I win.
have, bro. I said, first of all, we have two different types of phones. So I'm not looking at what you're looking at. And she
I'm
goes,
here in Waianae, you're in Pearl City.
and so
First clue.
And she's like, oh, how about this button? Do I push this one? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. Like, and then there was a time where she was trying to share,
Yeah.
but she keeps calling it an arrow, right? It's the share button with the circles over here, right? The three circles.
That's
She goes-
connected by a line.
Yeah. She goes, do I push the arrow? And I'm like, what arrow? Like, what are you talking about? There's no arrow. The only arrow I know is a download, you know, the square with the arrow pointing down. And so I go, no, don't do that, because if it's on your phone, it's already there. It's already downloaded. She keeps calling it an arrow. I go, Mom, I don't know. Are you going to have to wait until we can come to your house? So I think the next day we went, right? Because
Yeah.
he's like, we got to go help Mom. We got to go help Mom. I'm like, oh my God. So we
Anything for a
go.
mother-in-law, we take care of that.
We go to my mom's house and I say, okay,
Oh,
show
no,
me
no,
what
that's
you're
not
talking
the-
about.
Hotel.
Yeah. I think it's just an apartment. But so she goes, this one, this is the arrow. And I'm like, no, it's the share button. And so I start laughing because she's so cute. Like, okay, I see how she thinks it's an arrow, like the tip of an arrow or whatever, you know, just
Yeah.
a tip.
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
You
But-
want a tip?
But I'm like, so yesterday our client, when
Just
I'm
take the
trying
tip.
to when I'm trying to talk to her, that's what my first boyfriend told me. The
Just
first
a
time I had sex, yeah.
tip.
I was kind of, you know, scared. Of course, it was my first time, and he tells me, no, just a tip, just a tip.
Yeah.
And he lied, you know.
But I
But
thought it was only the tip he had. All he had to offer was the tip.
if he watches this, he's gonna know who it is. But there's something wrong with you. But so yeah, I, you know, this client asked me, do I push the arrow? And I was like in the moment because it's a court thing. It's a filing and it's really important, and I'm like, no, don't push any arrow. I don't want you. Because it took me like 20 minutes to get her to write the email, right? Because she said when she was writing in the to section, instead of, it kept putting in an automatic address with a dash, and there was no dash in the address, and she couldn't delete it and write her own. Every time she got to a certain point, it would add that. So it took me like 20 minutes to get her to the point where I said, you know what, get out of there, because she went from the PDF to the email, and it kept adding that dash. So I said, get out of there. Just go to your email, and then we'll just attach the PDF, right? So then that way it let her put in the address correctly. But it let her put in the address correctly, but she couldn't find how to attach it, right? And so she kept telling me, do I push the arrow? I was like, no, it took me so long to get her. I was like, I don't know what that arrow is. It might be like the famous red button, like everything might be deleted. But then after I hung up with her, I told him, I said, wait, I wonder if she's talking about the same arrow.
Yes, it is. On the H3.
Yes, it is. So, I'm like, okay. So that's why, I was like, she really needs a computer, and we can teach her how to use it. Even if it's just to email.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what?
I heard it was something before.
I have a Google Chromebook.
To the court.
Yeah, and it really was only like probably a year old. And then we bought different laptops so they could all be the same. And so, I was like, I can give you that. Let me factory reset it. And then, that is scary, because I factory reset it this morning. Literally, it took me all of when I actually got, figured out how to do it. And the instructions didn't help me, because when it sent me on a journey to, is it go into your settings?
Are the instructions from India or Pakistan?
I don't know, unless my boyfriend Google, went to India this morning. But it said go to your app settings, your settings, and then go to advanced settings. And it said this will be found in your settings. Just imagine that. Advanced settings will be found in your settings. So that computer didn't have advanced settings. So I go into search and I type in advanced settings, and it sent me to advanced settings, which I don't know where it was, because it wasn't in there, I swear. So I go to that and I find my way there, and that didn't help, because it sent me down to another dead end. So I just went to my regular settings and I typed in, what do you call that? Not brainwashed, although I feel brainwashed. Something power wash or something. That's what they call it too. They didn't call it factory reset. It said power wash or factory reset. I never heard that first. So I just was like, I clicked it. But the process
for a long time.
Yeah, but the process literally took me like 1 minute.
Wow.
And all it did was it
wiped out everything.
Yeah, it asked me one time by pushing
one more time.
By clicking power wash, this will delete everything in your files permanently. Do you want to do this? Yes or no? Do you want to continue? I pushed yes, and it was gone in like 3 seconds. Man. Everything on my computer. I was like, and then it said,
but
welcome.
The software is still there, though. You can actually turn on, and if you wanted to write an email.
I hope so, yeah. So I it automatically came up with another
we're getting ready to stand by for a journey when we get to the client's house. I wish I knew this before I left the house.
Yeah, so it said, welcome to Chrome or whatever, welcome to this, to get started, press this. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything until we get there, so we can get all the information, clear and set. And but it was scary how fast it deleted everything. So people can,
that's how easy it is.
Yeah, to just I guess that's why they keep saying back up your files on the cloud or whatever,
back it up.
right? You back it up. So if you back it up on the cloud, which kind of, I never understood the cloud.
Yeah.
It kind of scares me.
It's in a bubble up here.
Up where?
Up there.
Right there?
Up there.
Okay. And where can access the bubble?
Anybody.
Right? So how is that?
G17 class.
I mean, that's what I think, is that when it goes in the cloud, anybody can access it, right? Because
we can tap into the cloud.
right. And so how is that keeping my things safe by backing it up on a cloud that is like accessible
Right.
to other people? Like, I would think my own computer would be more safer. So I never
Right.
understood the cloud.
As long as you're not tapped into the internet, if you have the ability to go outside of your computer, anywhere, then they have an ability to come see you. If you can see them, they can see you, right? So if you have a standalone computer at your home,
Right.
there's no connection to anything else. Right? So it's just a standalone computer. You're not locked into a internet service or whatever. It's just a standalone computer. They cannot tap into them. Nobody can tap into them because it's in your.
You're talking like a desktop kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like or
So,
even a laptop.
so that means
Just don't log in. The minute you log in, like you have a service. Like in the old days, you had modems, right?
right.
In order to communicate.
So in other
also.
words, the more they better technology, the more susceptible
Yeah,
to.
that's
Which-
what it is.
See, and that's
Because if you can see them, they can see you.
yeah. I think they see us.
I think so too. Every time we talk about something, it ends up on our feed somehow.
That means
Talk
we
about
might.
buying cat food. All of a sudden, you get like
Right.
10 commercials.
No, and then what's even freakier is when we found our cat.
Yeah,
We found the cat on the side of the road.
right.
And
Not
all
even
of
on
a,
our computers.
yeah, and all of a sudden, all these kitten stuff started popping up on my feed. So I'm like, okay, I bring the cat home from the side of the road.
Bro,
And my
I know
phones
what
know-
it is.
What?
We're really in the Matrix.
So are you real?
Eating that pork chop last night, was it really pork chop? Or was it just signals in my brain
It was telling
that
you
saying that it was
chop?
pork chop and telling me what it tasted like?
That means you don't ever have to bite my ass again because you can just think that you're biting my ass and then you'll
No.
be satisfied.
No.
Yeah.
Then I will stay in the Matrix.
But how was that pork chop, by the way?
It was beautiful.
Was it?
Deep fried, bro.
Yeah.
Deep fried. You flour them too, yeah?
I did.
Yeah, I think so. Flour
I did.
and deep frying them.
And that's all I did was flour it.
Yeah, it's
And that
perfect
texture was good. So I have I have the rest of it.
today,
Yeah.
right? I saw it in nice ones. Yeah.
Okay, so I should make it before Jay leaves so I can
Yeah.
give him some. But who is
She got the best ex-husband in the world, and from her ex-husband's perspective, he got the best of both worlds. He didn't have to be married to her, deal with her shit on a daily
Yeah.
basis, but yet she still feeds him. He eats great still.
Yeah. I think he probably eats better than yeah, because now I make all kinds of shit, you know. Not that I didn't cook before. I was the one doing all the cooking, but yeah, I think he probably eats better because you asked me to make all these different things, so I make it, and then he gets different things.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so he has the best of both worlds
He has
right
the
now.
best of both worlds. And they got me as this guy. You didn't want him, so I took him. That's my J.
Really,
That's my J.
really.
It's not your J.
That is literally why I asked him before we got married to make sure he wanted to marry me or Jay. Which way was he gonna swing? Because I already knew the answer. But I said, you know, hey,
Nah, he's a really cool guy,
which
bro.
way? Because we come with the same kids.
Yeah.
So make up your mind.
And I like the dynamic of, you know, that relationship that she has with her baby daddy. You know, it can
Oh my
be
God, I have a baby daddy.
it can be a really fuckfest you know,
It could be a journey.
yeah. But you know, when adults act like adults and
What?
realize that they have children that they gotta be more concerned of rather than their personal feelings.
Yeah.
Fuck your feelings.
Fuck those feelings.
You know what I mean? This is what Aiko and her ex-husband have. They have a good working relationship that is respectful and just for themselves. You know what I mean? And that, you know, rubs off on their kids. They realize that their parents, you know, their parents love each other,
Yeah.
but you know, they have three.
And
Teslas,
now they have 3.
You
They
know?
have a mom, dad, and a stepdad.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it all works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we're a big family and we make it work.
Yeah.
You know, his car is down, so we use my truck, right? Like when we need the truck, we use the truck, and when he needs the truck, he uses the truck. Like right after this and this evening, he's got to go to work.
That's right. He works tonight.
You know, he's got to go to work, so he uses my truck.
Yeah.
You know, and boom, when we're able to get the radiator fixed, boom,
Then he'll have his car.
he'll have
back.
his car back. But for the last, what was that, three
I
months?
think it's been more than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think he's been like on the INA for like
Oh, yeah.
6 months now.
6 months now, yeah.
I think so.
6 for 3.
Which-
Never love you.
You know, it's helpful too because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he helps do stuff around the INA.
Yeah, he's putting his pound of flesh on the INA,
Yeah.
you know, which is why, you know, he'll have a home built on the INA for him and their daughter.
I wonder who ever does. I mean, who does that? I would be living on the same property as my husband and my ex-husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a baby daddy.
He,
I don't know why
he
that-
is the baby.
I know, but I don't know why that trips me out so much. Because I hear everybody saying, you know, my baby daddy this, my baby
You never
daddy
did
that.
call him that, yeah?
Yeah, because I call him my ex, right?
Right.
I'm a call him my baby daddy.
Yo, baby daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a baby mama.
But that when you get to a level of maturity in relationships, that I'm learning that lesson right here, live, right in my life.
Well, and
right
I
now.
have a good relationship with your baby mama, and
Yeah.
you do now too.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't always good between you and her, but
Well, only when she was caught up in her addiction.
yeah.
I mean, but outside of that,
But
we've
now
always
she's-
been
And
we've always been
she
cordial.
texts me and she's like, "Hi, sweetie," you know, da 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 da. She'll ask me a question and he's like, "Who's that?" And I go, "Your baby mama."
Yeah.
So that's cool too. And I think I mean it could be like a whole journey.
And her man right now, her man that's with,
Yeah.
we grew up together. His mother and my mother was good friends.
Yeah.
His
And,
mother used to babysit me and my sister.
and you're cool with him being with her, right? And
Yep.
stuff like there's no
Yep.
because you know some people when we watch our shows.
You know, we respect each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we respect each other. We've been down that road.
Yeah,
You know?
and I guess you don't think about like the intricate details, like you know, my thing has been in her thing, and now his thing is in her thing, you know. But that's what a lot of the shows
It's
that
not-
we
none of my
watch,
business.
you know, they're like,
Ni ele oko.
they're like,
It's not your
you know,
business.
especially the women, they're like, she be fooling around with my ex, you know. I'm like, huh? That's your ex, so who gives a hell, right? But I had a friend that I think I told you about her. I had a friend in high school
Mhm.
that literally went out with like 4 of my exes.
She was like, she wanted to prove that she was better than you. She wanted to be able to conquer your exes, and she only used them to say, "That's right."
It didn't work. I mean, they were my exes for a reason. I mean, and not all of them. I mean, we didn't all end up in a bad situation. It was just kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm not feeling you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and you find out
'Cause
things.
all I got was the tip.
That's not, no, that one,
All you had to offer was the tip.
that one, I took him on a journey
Uh-oh.
because he fooled around on me,
Mm.
okay? And I was heartbroken, right? Because he was my first.
Mhm.
And I thought, you know, we were going out for a year already in high school. And for high school, like, sometimes that's a long
Oh,
time, right? And I was faithful. I never thought about, you know, fooling around on him. And we were on a field trip from my school.
But he
one
just
day.
wanted to prove that he could get the hot chick from Pro City. When you're from Y9, you can score the hot chicks from Pro City.
Well, then he
that
should-
was a thing.
He should just do a girl from Pro City, a girl from another school. Because he did add 2 girls from the same school.
That knew each other.
And I didn't know her like super well, but when we went on a field trip and we went to get lunch after, we all sat around at the park, Kapiolani Park.
Yeah.
And we were all sitting around, and she was actually a friend of my friend, right? So, you know, it was like, oh, my friends came, come sit down, we will
Oh.
eat over here. And then,
Okay, what's the name? Frank Casanova.
yeah, so my friend invited her friends to come sit, so we were all in a big group.
Yo, man, girly.
And it was funny because my friend asked me if I was gonna go down to Waianae this weekend, and I said, yeah, I think so, because my boyfriend's parents said to come over, blah blah blah, something. And her friend, the other girl, said, oh, you have a boyfriend that lives in Waianae? And she was like this sweet innocent girl. I mean, I was too, but I can. Huh?
Just a little bit.
So I said, oh, she goes, you have a boyfriend from Waianae too? And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh, where does he live? And I said, she goes, where in Waianae? I said, Waianae Valley Road. And she goes, oh my gosh, my boyfriend lives there too. I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, maybe they know each other. What's your boyfriend's name? And I said his name. I'm not going to say his name. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be nice. My seatbelt is like, look, it locked me in. Okay. So I told her my boyfriend's name, and she went, that's
Frank
my...
Casanova.
She goes, that's my boyfriend's name. I said, wait, hold on. How did you meet this guy? And then she tells me, I forget how she met him. And then she goes, I go, what's your boyfriend's phone number? So she tells me his number, and I'm like,
This
bruh,
one?
that's my boyfriend's number. So I was pissed, and she was pissed. And we both were hurt, and this and that. So I go, okay.
4316, love you, eh?
Because,
Baby.
bro, because I am that person,
Mm.
right? So I said, she goes, oh my God, when I get home, I'm going to call. I said, no.
No need.
Can we do something? Can
Yeah.
you just trust me and follow
Work
me?
with me. Work
And
with
she
me.
goes, okay, what are we going to do? I said, I'll call you, and then I'll put us on a 3-way. I said, but I want you to be quiet, okay, until I say. And she goes, okay.
Uh-huh.
So I did the 3-way, and I called him.
Get a window. The duct tape.
Oh, on this side of the island. So I called him, and he goes, hey, babe, you know, we're talking. And I go, hi. And he goes, how was your field trip today? I said, it was really good. Like, I learned
Really
a lot from
interesting.
the field trip.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah. And I go, yeah. So I met some people from my school, but I, never really, like, talked to them and stuff. So I said her name. I said, yeah, there was this really cool girl that I met, and her name is... He kind of got hesitant for a little while. He goes, oh, yeah? Oh, that's cool. And then he tried to change the subject. I said, no, so I think you know this girl, And he goes, who's that? Who do I know? And I said her name. And he goes, oh, I don't know anybody by that name. And I go, oh, yeah? And then
That's interesting.
yeah, and I go, oh, because she knows you. And he goes, how she know me? No, maybe my cousin or something. I said, no, she knows you. I said, because she has a boyfriend in Waianae too. He goes, oh yeah? Oh, yeah, like I get plenty cousins and stuff like that. Or maybe my friends and stuff. I said, well, you probably know him because he lives on Waianae Valley Road too. And he's like, oh, where he live? And I go, he lives in your house. And he was like,
You feel the walls closing in on you?
he goes, what you
Feel the
talking
box?
about?
Feel the box?
Yeah, he goes, what you talking about? So I
Get
tell
it
him.
boxed in.
I tell him the conversation that happened.
Bail,
You know what he
bail.
tells me? You know what he tells me?
What?
I don't know who that is, but she fucking lying to you, bro. You know, and this and that. Like, people just trying to get me in trouble. And da, 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 da. I go, oh, yeah? I go, well, that's not what she said. So then I said her name, and I go, why don't you tell your boyfriend what you said to me today? She was on the other line, and she goes, you fucking asshole. Da, 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 da. And he goes, whoa,
The jig is up.
whoa, what the hell?
Bail.
So I go, yeah, I just wanted to know if you were going to tell me the truth or not. But since you lied to me, you know what? You can just fuck off. And I was like, I'm done. And then he like kind of stalked me for like the next year. He knew everywhere I went.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
you.
so sorry. You're the one. You're the one.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm like,
sorry.
whatever.
I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah. And then everywhere I went.
Even though I just didn't text your sister.
If I had a sister, I bet he would. I bet he would. But one of my friends tried to get with him too. And that friend was so funny. Like, I would break up with somebody.
It's interesting, yes, some women have friends that the friend only want to oof every guy that she's with.
Yeah, why is that? Like, I don't
I think
understand.
it's a self-esteem thing. Like, you know,
But-
she thinks she all that. You know, so I'm gonna be her friend, so I can fuck all her man. Yeah,
See, but I mean,
the power play.
yeah, I don't know. It was stupid. And then she would ask me, right? I would break up with
Welcome
somebody.
to Wamanalo.
I'd break up with
God's
somebody
kingdom.
and then she
That's
would,
country.
like maybe 2 weeks
Beautiful
later,
rain. Yeah.
she would call me and she would be like, sis, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? She goes, you know Robbie, right? And I'm like, Robbie, my ex-boyfriend, the one I just broke up with? She goes, yeah. So don't be mad, but would you be mad if I went out with him?
Oh, you're trying to get me mad.
And my answer was always like, I mean, go ahead. You know, he's not with me. You don't need my permission. Like, he doesn't need my permission.
Girlfriend, I just dumped him in the trash yesterday.
Right, like.
Like, go be a palapika, go ahead.
And then the next boyfriend, they would break up after a while. And then the next boyfriend I had, and after I break up with him or he breaks up with me, whatever, then I noticed that she's going out with him, and I'm just like, okay, this is 2 for 2. Like, what's going on here? I mean,
She's living in
I
your
don't
trash.
yeah, like, what the hell? Like, I don't care. I really don't. You know, you want to go out with my ex-boyfriend, go ahead. But
My head is cut off.
oh, see, but I just trip, you know. So some women are like really catty about it, like, you have the nerve, and that's my ex and stuff. Okay, so I mean, you know, do you get mad if you make fried chicken and your friend eats the leftovers the next day? Like, what the hell? That just tripped me out. But I went on a lot of journeys with her because of that. Because she was like, oh no. So one time after like the 4th boyfriend, I broke up with him, and because he was being like really stupid. Yeah, he was being really stupid. So I broke up with him, and I called her as soon as I broke up with him. I said, I'm just letting you know I broke up with him. And she goes, why are you telling me? I said, I mean, I don't know. This like you seem to be, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know
Catching
we're
on my
broken up.
trash.
So
Yeah.
he's up for, you know, adoption or whatever you want to call it. You want him? Go get him, girl. Go get him. And she'll be like, oh my God, you're so stupid. I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm like, I don't know. That's like 3 for 3. Something happening, you know.
You're batting 1,000 right now.
And I told her, I said, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. I said, you know, I called you as a joke, not joking. Like, and she ended up going out with him.
See?
And I'm like, well, like, you wasted like a whole month, because that one took like a month before she went out with him. I said, you could have been going out with him a month ago. I told you.
Yeah.
She was so mad at me.
All right,
Like,
we're
so
almost
stupid.
here.
Okay,
So
so
we're
this
gonna
was
wind down.
part 2. This was part 2. We might do another one on the way home, because we usually do. I'm having fun with these.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So we got to think about
So
something
while we're
to talk
doing
about.
class, you can be uploading this.
Yeah, I'll just upload it and leave it, and then we'll work on This one might be a long class because we're not going to do class next Wednesday, I think. So I got to talk to her about that because we got so much fire drills going on at
We'll
the
just
same
go
time.
ahead and cover everything that we can
Yeah.
cover.
So just let it all out today. And she's like ready to learn and all that. So
I
we'll
love
just
watching
spend time
people
today.
Get it. The light goes on in their head.
Yeah.
They're learning what we're teaching and they're applying it
Yeah.
and they're having success.
And then they're so ambitious about things,
Yeah,
you know.
and they realize I can do this.
Yeah. That's
It's
what
beautiful.
true empowerment
And
is.
and
You never mind.
I just love it. I love it. I
True
love what we're
empowerment.
doing. So Hawaii Pacific Foundation, man, thank you for believing in us.
Yeah. Allowing us to
One day I
continue.
hope to have all my clients come in one big party and you can see what you have done to
Yeah.
help us
Yeah.
move all
Watch
our
out,
hui,
chicken.
you know. Yeah, she went under that.
Yeah.
Move all our hui forward.
Yeah.
With that, aloha no kako. See you guys Bombay pretty soon, but not yet.
And we're out.